Arsenal are the new Premier League leaders, Nedum, after they win at Brentford on Saturday. Is this a good position to be in?
You're very happy to talk about this, aren't you?
No, I'm just asking you.
You're just asking the questions,
Yeah, top of the table.
Yeah, it's a great position to be in. I think, given the fact that City and Liverpool played as that first game, if you're trying to chase them, what you want is a draw. And then for Arsenal to go and win a game against Brentford, I know they beat them at Brentford last season. I think it was possibly 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, 3-0, yeah.
But this game felt different, and to be able to grind out a 1-0 result under the lights on TV and to sit top of the tree. The fact is now, even though it's like super early, it's in their hands. Like, if you're top, you're top.
Yeah.
For me personally, I know some people say they like chasing. I like the feeling of knowing that my result affects everybody else in that way, as opposed to my result and hoping for other things to happen to go your way.
True, but we also agree that the lead is going to change again, right?
We'll probably change by this point next week, yeah.
Yeah.
There's every chance, yeah.
Aston Villa beat Tottenham to go 4th in the Premier League. Nedum, did Unai Emery win the tactical battle against Ange Postecoglou?
I think he did in the end, but I think in those early sort of stages, he was getting rocked a little bit. I think the fact that he had to make 2 changes at half-time, in fact, I say had to, he didn't have to.
No.
The fact he chose to make 2 changes at half-time
So
and bringing on... Cash came off, Diaby came off. FPL nightmare, and on came on came Bailey and Tielemans, and I thought they were better in the second half. I think maybe for Spurs, if Bentancur would have carried on playing, maybe they're more set in terms of how they wanted to play. Because it's not to be definitive to say that they would have won, but they're more set because there's a reason why they didn't start with Højbjerg, for example. Højbjerg and Bentancur, 2 completely different types of players. But he made those changes and it made a difference in the game. I think they sort of pounced on the fact that Spurs were also missing 2 key centre-backs. And in the end, he did do it. It wasn't pretty in its totality, but it's a huge result nonetheless.
He's the 3rd defeat in a row for Spurs now.
Listen, hopefully he's 4 by this point next week as they travel to Man
course.
City. Yeah, I'm just glad that game's not at the Tottenham Stadium, I'll be honest.
So I know all the injuries and the suspensions. There was no Bissouma either, Sarr, no Van de Ven Romero, you mentioned, no Richarlison, no Maddison, etc., etc. I did feel, though, as well as he worked for the first 25 minutes or so, that it was a bit unbalanced defensively from Spurs, as you know, because we were.
But maybe that's who they are. Maybe they're just an unbalanced team.
Maybe, but then, yeah, fair enough.
Because
the content wasn't bad,
yeah.
And they created chance, but they were caught offside because that's what Villa do. Their offside trap works really well.
The way I see Spurs is I'm never going to be seeing them as a team who are going to try and take a 1-0 lead and hold on. I think they're always going to be playing on the front foot, and whether they've got all their main players there or not, I think that's the way it's going to be, and they'll be open to getting hit on the counter and teams to score against them. Yeah. But, we'll see.
Nedum, did you like seeing Roberto De Zerbi going mad after the Brighton win at Forest on Saturday? Or did you find it disrespectful like it seems a few people did in England?
I think football can make people go crazy, and they do things which they wouldn't normally do, and that's not something we normally see from De Zerbi.
Especially when you haven't won in 6 games.
Exactly. And, seeing Lewis Dunk get sent off, he's one of the most experienced players at that club, and he gets sent off in the way that he does. You know, football can make you go wild, especially when it's away from home and you think you're being hard done by, going through a tough spell, and the celebration is enormous.
Yeah.
And some people in England, some people around football, they just want to police people's celebrations and police people's joy. But if they're in the same situation, they do the same thing. And realistically, De Zerbi's not going to get a bonus point for being really calm and celebrating the win in a controlled manner.
That's true.
His fans will love it. His players will love it.
Yeah.
That is their group. And as a consequence, those 3 points met with that level of passion mean that the next time they're in the trenches, those fans will know they've got a manager who's deeply passionate. Because look at last year, Chelsea had a Potter, and people said, "Oh, he's not passionate enough."
Yeah,
like people want to police everything to do with football. Let them do what they want. Let them do what they want.